So I'm just finishing up the work on the 4runner today. This is, looks like the last day for a while in the forecast. It's going to be above the freezing mark. And for applying coatings, temperature is kind of important. So this is kind of my only chance to get this thing done for a little while. Luckily we don't have a whole lot to do. Today I'm going to be focusing on doing the Gtechniq C4 on the black trim. So things like the wiper cowl here. I wouldn't be surprised if it's still going to be a noticeable difference between before and after on the black plastic here, but it's nowhere near as faded and gray as it was the first time I did it. So I'm mainly just doing it to protect it and keep it looking good this time. Not so much concerned about actually restoring it. Now for the windows, I used Gtechniq's glass coating before in the past, and I did like it. It performed really well and it lasted a decent amount of time. But I don't have enough to do it again on this, and to be honest, I'm just not really interested in paying another $30 or $40 and buying another tiny little bottles like that big just to use it on the glass. I don't really understand everybody's fascination with avoiding using their windshield wipers, because even with the best glass coatings out there, I've tried Aquapel, I've tried all those, like anything under 50 kilometers an hour, you still have to use your wipers like normal. And it's nice to see the water beating up on the glass and everything, but is it really worth the money to use the fancy coatings? In my opinion, I'm just not really convinced anymore. So what I've experimented with on the MR2 is using a paint sealant on the glass. Just regular old paint sealant that you would use on there. And it does a similar kind of job. Water behaves kind of the same. It doesn't quite fly off the glass like it does with the specific coatings, and it doesn't last anywhere near as long. But I got all kinds of old bottles of paint sealant lying around, so we're going to go with that. That was a really long-winded explanation of what I'm doing to the glass. Then I'm trying to think of what else I want to knock out on this thing. I think I'm going to clean up this headlight a little bit. This is the one that I've restored before. It's just getting a little bit yellow. Not bad. So I'm going to give them both kind of a quick once over, and then ceramic coat them with crystal serum light, which is the same stuff I have on the paint. You've seen me do headlights before though, so I probably won't record much of that. But anyways, I think that's pretty much all there is to do. Then of course, we're going to do one final kind of a recap video, and I'll clean it up real good one last time and take it out somewhere if the sun ever comes out again here in Canada. I'm starting to wonder. But we'll get some final shots and we'll recap everything that we did on this thing and at least pull it out of the garage so you can see what it's looking like now, because the aftershot department has been lacking so far in this series. But it's okay, just stick with me. We're going to do another video still. Before I coat the plastic trim, I'm experimenting with one thing here. This plastic stuff here, it's like a textured plastic between the windows. And ever since I got it, I'm not sure what somebody used on this, but it's got like a rainbow slick on it. I don't know if that's going to show up. Kind of hard to catch it on camera. But it has like a stain. And in the daylight, it looks like a rainbow slick. Like there's some kind of an oil product on there. And I've tried everything to clean it off. I've used all kinds of heavy duty cleaners and degreasers and stuff. And nothing seems to get it off. So what I'm doing today, you're going to think I'm crazy, is I'm actually polishing it. I'm just using a compound here. Doing it by hand, of course, because it's textured, that'll chew up a pad on a buffer in no time. So in this one, again, I'm not sure if it's going to show up on camera. I've done this side, this is the before, and this is after polishing. You can kind of see, yeah, you can kind of see like it doesn't really look like a rainbow slick in this lighting, but there's definitely staining on there. And then you move over to this side, and I gotta say, it actually looks pretty good. So it's the same thing with these roof rack caps too. They have the same kind of a weird haze on them. And this seems to be working. So what I'm gonna do is polish them by hand. And then of course I'll wipe it down with alcohol big time to make sure I get all the polishes out of the plastic. This, I actually have already wiped this down with alcohol just to ensure that it is actually fixing it and not just covering it up. So I'm gonna do that before I start doing the trim on everything. And I'm kind of happy about that, because that's something that's bothered me since I bought this thing. It's kind of a strange fix for it, but you can see here, Again, in this lighting inside the garage, it doesn't look like a rainbow slick, but in the daylight it does. But you can definitely see all the little spots. There's definitely something stained on the plastic. So a lot of people don't realize that you can polish black plastic trim sometimes. I wouldn't recommend doing it every time in every situation, but in this case, this is the only thing that's working. Alright, so we got the trim coating done. We've got the headlights kind of touched up a bit and recoated. Got the glass dealt with. I think that's pretty much it for this one, guys. If you've been following along up until this point, then thanks for watching, and stay tuned for that final video. We're going to get some glamour shots of this thing, and we're going to wrap everything up. So stay tuned, guys. I'll see you on the next one.